We shall now be addressing, it is no exaggeration to say so, the by far most important aspect of the development of your personality, of your self-perfection, and of your ascent to the new man. Indeed, of the progress of humanity as a whole, the education of the heart. The development of the heart is the main task in our era. Your heart is not infallible from birth. As long as it is still selfish or coarse, it will not show you the truth. The heart must be trained. The heart must be educated. Educating the heart requires tireless effort. To see with the eyes of the heart, to hear the roar of the world with the ears of the heart, to peer into the future with the understanding of the heart, to remember past accumulations through the heart, it is necessary to impetuously advance on the path of ascent. I grew up in a family with a strong emphasis on reason. Intellectual knowledge, preferably acquired from books, was paramount. Whenever I tried to boast about my intellectual achievements, my grandmother used to give me this wise advice. My boy, the education of the heart is the most important thing. When I was young, I did not understand that at all. Only today do I realize. The heart is a much more reliable guide in the search for true knowledge, orientation and wisdom than the brain. And the refinement and sharpening of the insight of the heart can and must be trained, just as that of the intellect. Why exactly is heart formation so important? Your heart molds your being. We repeat what we discussed in detail in the videos Bring Your Soul to Life. We are building the world of the future and we are creating the man of the future. The creation of the new worlds depends on the cultivation of the new man. This new man, the spiritual being within us, is brought to life by your thinking, feeling, speaking and acting as your soul wants you to. How do I know what my soul wants me to do? Your eternal individuality tells you through the heart how it wants you to behave. The transformation into the man of the future is basically very simple. You hearken to the voice of your heart. You do what your heart advises you to do, and refrain from doing what it warns you against. We may, therefore, conclude By directing your thoughts, feelings, words and actions through the heart, you create the new man and make your contribution to the establishment of the new world. For the equilibrium of the world, the heart is needed, and in this decree is contained undifferable salvation. Immortality, this most important characteristic of the man of the future, is, as we have often said, a state of the consciousness. It is formed through heart knowledge. Realizations such as I have a soul, I am a soul, and I reveal the divine only are inaccessible to the intellect. Truly, only the heart bestows immortality. Consider this as a vital principle beyond the conditions of mortality. However, this is true only if a pure, refined, cultivated heart ensures correct thinking, feeling, speaking and acting. Not if an impure, coarse, uneducated heart leads to the manifestation of your animal nature. We see, without formation of the heart, there is no new man and no new world. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. That is why Agni Yoga calls the development of the heart the main task of humanity today. The highest attainment is in the development of the heart. Cooperation and close living together are based upon the heart. Therefore, one must understand the urgency of such development of the heart. The manifestation of the significance of the heart is an old truth, but this truth has never been so needed as now. We really need schools for heart education. We are asking physicians in various countries to engage in research on the heart. There exist sanatoriums for all kinds of ailments, but because education of the heart is lacking, there is no institute for the heart. There is a need for heart sanatoriums, where researchers can carry on the observations that are so urgently necessary. The Institute of the Heart will be the temple of the future race. A special subject ought to be created, Science of the Heart. The simplest maidservant understands the sweetness of speaking about the heart. Ignorant, crude, cruel people lack one thing first and foremost: education of the heart. Heartlessness is nothing but an uncultured state of the heart. Against the brutalization of mankind with all its terrible consequences, which actually threaten the very existence of the planet, only one thing helps: refinement of the heart. It does not make sense to lament the coarsening of humanity and yet neglect the care of its chief organ. The heart of humanity is ailing. So if people wish to avert a catastrophe, they must first of all render healthy the sphere of the heart. What does this education of the heart consist of? Purification, refinement, and expansion of consciousness, as we will now discuss in detail. As with the development of the physical body, the body of thoughts and the body of feelings, a thorough purification is the first priority in the education of the heart. No one will reflect that nothing clean comes out of dirt. All other abilities and achievements you have already acquired are of almost no use at all if your heart is impure, hardened, petrified, or mute. Precisely, it was the heart's lack of development which prevented an increase in the possibilities that had been built up by past accumulations. Verily, the attainment of the heart turns all possibilities into reality. Verily, the attainment of the heart forges all the best steps. The greatest treasure you can possess is a pure heart. Preserve the original childlike purity of your soul. Do not allow it to be clouded, soiled, or distorted by bitter life experiences. Purity of heart is the most essential possession. There is no room for wisdom, courage, and selflessness in a beclouded heart. An impure heart will give you not true but false cognition and discernment. We talked about the synthesis of science and religion and the supplementation of intellectual insight by heart knowledge. However, this necessarily presupposes that the researcher of the new divine science first thoroughly cleanses his heart. Without the purification of the heart and the broadening of consciousness by the methods of living ethics, no true knowledge can be obtained. Meditation, the connection with the higher world, the communication with non-incarnated spirits, takes place via the heart, but only if it is immaculate, like that of a child. Pure hearts will perceive the highest. Clean thine own heart, that the light of the sun of divine love may shine clearly through its meshes. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. An impure heart does not come in contact with higher, but only with lower beings of the subtle world, and is lied to, deceived, and led astray by them. Spiritual vision unfolds in accordance with the heart. A low consciousness will see the low, but spiritual purification will make higher vision possible. Everyone sees what he carries in his heart. The dialogue with your spiritual father is conducted via the heart, but only if you have thoroughly cleansed this channel beforehand can you hope to establish a connection to such a high being and receive comfort, strength, and guidance through this conduit. The channel of the heart must be purified. A reply can be given only to the pure of heart. For higher communion, a pure heart is needed. Nothing impure can partake of this communion. Therefore, the symbol of the leader must be the sign of purity of the heart. Many pseudo-disciples indulge in complicated theories, wish to decipher the secrets of the universe and to attain cosmic consciousness. Let them start small and practical and purify their hearts. This is the indispensable basis of any further progress. Someone says that he wishes to attain cosmic consciousness. Let him better think about purifying his heart. Let him not so much imagine himself as a conqueror of the cosmos, but rather let him wish to cleanse his consciousness from dust. One cannot penetrate beyond the limits of the law without wishing to become transformed in the approach.